But there's another green that's already costing you, the White House's green agenda. And even as solar companies are going bust, the administration saying that its loan program is not a failure.
Don't you agree that the loan guarantee program has had a tough record?
Quite to the contrary, sir. I think it's been an enormous success.
Okay, we have.
All right, quite to the contrary. Anyway, Florida Congressman Cliff Stearns, not surprised the Energy Department is standing by these failures, but he's got a bill to stop these future failures. Congressman, good to have you. I was amazed at that exchange, and I give you credit for trying to get to the bottom of it. But where do we stand now? Obviously, there's good money after bad, not only in Solyndra, ironically, but in other cylinders and in other technologies that have yet to pay off. In fact, if anything, throttle down more bucks.
Well, you're right. Solyndra laid off 2,000 people, and it went bankrupt. Of course, Abounds is another energy company. It's interesting, Neil, that particular company won in $400 million. And recently, probably maybe 2 or 3 months ago, I complained about that company because, from my estimation, it was going to go into bankruptcy. So the Department of Energy did not give him the full $400 million. They gave him about $65 million. So just by alerting the Department of Energy, we were able to save $330 million. But also, Energy One is another company went bankrupt, and Beacon is another one. So you have 4 of these companies that have gone bankrupt, and yet this man, Mr. France, who's the acting secretary of the loan guarantee program for DOE, says it's an enormous success.
Well, is he looking at everything? I mean, you know these numbers better than I do, Congressman, but normally you can cite the failures and say, yeah, but the media, is what the president said the other day, isn't focusing on our successes. Try as I might, I couldn't find them. You know, so am I missing something? Is there a separate series of spreadsheets, or are they just spreading the sheet?
Well, no, they're saying that, you know, these things are bound to go bankrupt. We always think it's possible. But the problem is these are taxpayers' money. And in effect, if you're going to allow it to go bankrupt, then don't subordinate to outside interests. Let the taxpayers get some money back when they go bankrupt. And unfortunately, they believe that all these loan guarantees should be subordinated and outside interests should be able to come in. And that's contrary to the Energy Policy Act of 2005.
If that was the case, and outside forces should come in, that's called capitalism. That's private capital. Let private capital decide that, who comes in and who doesn't. But it shouldn't be up to the government to decide, you know, who's in and who's out and whether it's even worth merit. But I guess what I'm asking, Congressman, is in the end, where do we stand with this? If we're going to throw good money after bad, if we're going to continue with a technology that's yet to be proven, under the idea being that if we don't do it, the Chinese will, the Indians will be at a disadvantage, is that argument resonating or no?
No. Do you understand that China is importing coal? You know which country they're importing it from? The United States. Only 2% of their energy development comes from alternative energy like wind turbines and solar panels. Yet they subsidize their solar panel industry at $30 billion a year. And you know what they do with their product? They sell it to the United States, and we buy it because it's cheaper from them than for us to build it. And so Solyndra was really starting to sell their product for less than they manufacture it. The bottom line is this new bill that Mr. Upton, who's the chairman, and I, the chairman of the Oversight Committee, have, will shut down the 1705 loan guarantee program. Secondly, we'll make sure that any further loan guarantees on any other program, the Department of Treasury has to get notice from the DOE about the marketing, the economic viability of these particular loan guarantees. And lastly, we're going to make sure that DOE cannot subordinate taxpayers' money. If taxpayers are going out to pay and it goes into bankruptcy, they should have first out. They should be able to buy the resources so they can salvage some of their investment and not let outside groups come in, particularly groups that are tied to the president and his fundraising operation and bundlers too.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
We just don't want that to happen again.
All right. Congressman, thank you very, very much. We'll watch closely. Good seeing you.
Yeah, thank you, Neil.